There really is no good way to do this, but I'm going to get out there and take a run. I took a week off, and I think it was time well spent. I know my garage looks terrible right now. There's nothing I can do about that. Time well spent, and I think my last run was something like, I don't know, last Saturday was like a longer run, maybe 7 miles or so. So I'm training for the Pittsburgh Marathon. I do not have really good clothes or gear or any of this stuff for running in this type of weather, but I am willing to document the process and the journey to get there, because I realize while I may have a goal to run a marathon in May, it dawned on me the other day, because I document a lot of my work as a teacher too, and I'm like, I love when people document their own work, either as a teacher or all these running channels that I watch, and people are genuinely recording like the things that they do, the gear that they wear, reflecting on their runs, that sort of thing. I think that's all helpful. It just sort of adds. So I figured I would start, maybe I'm going to post this stuff. I don't know. Anyway, my goal this year, 2019, was to run. I just started running in 2018. 2018, I capped off something like, I want to say it was like maybe 250, 300 miles was like my first real running attempt, or becoming a runner. That's when I started running, and I said that. And then in 2019, I don't know, I just sort of like last January, I caught, fire and decided to do a half marathon, and all of that worked out. Where I ran this half marathon, and the Pittsburgh half marathon, and my goal was to run it in around 2 hours, because I didn't know sort of what I was doing. Ended up finishing it at like 1:57, which, I don't know, sort of broke my expectations for it. And then I said, I've got to do a marathon now, obviously. And here I am doing a marathon, going to document the journey starting here December 6th. I don't know what sort of format I'll do, whether it's like pre-run, post-run, general thoughts during the run if I have time and that sort of thing. But I'll figure that out as I go. But I figured if I documented this thing, I'd be able to at least look back on these videos and sort of see the frame of mind I was in, if there are any updates and things that I'm learning along the way that are helping me become more efficient, finding these runs to be more enjoyable. So I'm gonna get these shoes on, and I'm gonna get ready to, I put the gloves on before I put the AirPods in. These sort of things happen. Get ready to head out on this run. So I will keep you posted. You can see the weather, by the way, is not looking good today. One of those days where sleety snow. It's been raining all morning, and now the temperature is shifting, so now it's this sleety snow thing. But the reality is, if I don't get out today and do this now, I will not have time the rest of the day to get out and run. So here it is. Okay, so a couple things. One, I didn't need, well, maybe I needed the gloves for the beginning part of this run because it felt a little bit colder. Two, I felt like I've got one layer on underneath this. As I mentioned, I don't wear the best, most cool running gear. But I realize this is probably a little bit too hot, and I need to figure out a different tactic for that. Run about 5 miles. I don't even know, probably 45, 46 minutes, whatever. You can check it out on Strava if you really want to check in on my stats. I thought about on this run as I was listening to a Tim Ferriss podcast, and I was trying to think about like why would I document this part of my life? Because I won't document everything, but I'll document some things. Whether I share them or not, I haven't figured that out yet. Talking to a camera is strange in and of itself, but I thought I consume all of this content, these running shows, and I'll highlight, I won't be able to name everybody that has been sort of so inspiring to me. But I've picked up and learned so much from just sort of watching folks share. But there's also a little bit of an intimidation factor to getting started with some of this stuff too, because some of these folks are documenting sort of running journeys that are well into their latter stages or middle or peak stages of their careers. And that doesn't fit me right now. Being in my mid-40s, teacher, 2 kids, coaching 4 different baseball teams, you know, it doesn't always work out the way that you want it to. So I felt like documenting is gonna, one, help me sort of unpack it for those who are in the same kind of a boat as I am. But then also 2, it's like I'm always looking for ways to improve and become a little bit more efficient. So if something along the way that I document, because I'm not doing sort of post-production, big scale edits or anything like that with this work, but if something along the way that I document helps you in some way, I guess in some ways this meta thing of I'm trying to create for the person I was a year ago, right? Getting started with this, trying to figure this thing out. I took 6 days off before this run today, and I feel okay, but the run could have been more efficient, right? Like those sorts of documentations. And this is just day 1. Taking 6 days off, getting back into it with a 5-mile run. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I will continue to document some of these things. And the other part of documenting this and wanting to have this sort of on record somewhere is that my hope is that my kids can either A, follow along, or B, look back someday and understand what it takes to just work on yourself. Not to be perfect, but just to strive for progress. And that's what I'm looking to do here. Nothing I do is going to be perfect. I know that. But if there's something in this grind, in this journey that can be documented and shared in a way that helps me grow, but then also helps other people grow, I think that could be a pretty cool thing. So I document this and things that I do at work. And as I mentioned, if I do any editing, yeah, I can speak, editing, I can speak. If I do any type of editing, it will be minimal at best and documenting sort of these raw footage things. There is no drone flyovers and beautiful camera footage. So thanks for watching. Take care.